Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. It is a great honor for me and a great joy to be able to join hands with Sheikh Faraz Rabbani and the other wonderful people at Seekers Hub, and to urge all of you to be very generous in supporting them with your money. I hope that you will take part in Spread the Light, this fundraising effort that Seekers Hub is doing, and that you will give as an act of worship to God. I have the honor of knowing Sheikh Faraz Rabbani and his wonderful family for many years, and we have often been together and we have worked together. There are few people that I hold in greater esteem than I hold him and the others that work with him. You must support him. You must support this initiative. Seekers Hub is fulfilling the individual obligation and the societal obligation that is required of us as individuals and communities. We've got to teach the knowledge of this religion soundly. And this is what Seekers Hub does. It is actively working at reviving the tradition of light, which is the tradition of Islamic knowledge. And it does that with ijazah. It does that with a living connection to the true tradition of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Religions cannot live without the transmission of their texts. And that kind of transmission is relatively straightforward. It is one of the main things that Seekers Hub does, and they do it very well. But in that transmission of the text, there must be also the transmission of the intellectual and the spiritual treasures that go with those texts, and that are part of our oral tradition, our lived tradition. These are the realities that come from living transmission, that bring the text to life, and that enable that text to produce fruit in our hearts. This is the goal and the work of Seekers Hub, and you have to support them in that. This is your best judgment. This is your best counsel for yourself. There are really only three types of people whom we should aspire to be. Either a scholar, and Sheikh Faraz Rabbani and those who work with him are indeed scholars. Or you should be a person who is attempting to learn to be a scholar, a student. Or you should be one who loves them. And maybe you can be all three. And maybe you can be two. But if you can only be a person who loves them, then show that love by giving generously to Seekers Hub, especially in the great month of Ramadan that is coming up. Tens of thousands of people who will soon, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, be hundreds of thousands of people, get benefit from the diligent work of Seekers Hub around the whole world, in the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere, in Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Seekers Hub also does most of its work in English, as you know, but also now they have very good programs they have initiated to do this same work in Spanish, which is absolutely essential. So give them your support, and this will be the way that you worship with your money, by giving it to a good cause. Charity is one of those things that purify the heart. It is one of those things that enable the heart to detach from this world and from the illusions of this world. But one of the wisest things in charity is that you seek the best people and the best groups to give charity to and to give gifts to. And then God will multiply your reward. Had you given this charity to just anyone, even a bad person, God would have accepted it with his right hand. But if you give this charity or your gifts and donations to someone like our beloved brother Sheikh Faraz Rabbani, or the people who work with him, and Seekers Hub, then God will accept this with His right hand. And God will multiply the blessings of this charity 100-fold. And this will be something that you take with you into your grave. When we go to our graves, and all of us are going to go there sooner or later, none of us get out of here alive. When we go to our graves, all of these beautiful paraphernalia that we have around us, they'll leave us behind. And we'll hear the footsteps of the people walking away from our grave, and then what are we left with? Either it will be a little garden from the gardens, filled with blessings, or it will be a portion of the fire. And you want good things to go with you into your grave. One of the greatest things of all is safa'ul qalb, the purity of the heart. The greatest worship is the worship of the heart. You want to keep your heart pure. Charity is one of the ways we purify our heart. It's one of the ways that we get the world out of our hearts. And you want to have dhikr, and you want to have fikr, and you want to have the love of God. And all of these things are facilitated by noble acts of worship such as charity. And inshallah, in supporting Seekers Hub, you are supporting the authentic, genuine Islamic tradition, the tradition that is the builder of civilizations, the tradition that is a mercy to humankind, that tradition that wherever Muslims went in the past, they solved the problems of people. They didn't cause problems for people. And today we are faced with these horrible heresies that call themselves Islamic State, or they call themselves by this name or the other, and they flourish out the colors of Islam as if they knew what this religion was, and they are nothing but a plague. They are nothing but a curse. So we have to support the tradition. We have to support the tradition that has all the immunities, that has all the antidotes, and that enables us to take the message of the Prophet ﷺ in its total beauty and mercy. Islam, Iman, and Ihsan. And this is the work of Seekers Hub, and this is our work as well. You please give to Seekers Hub and be generous in that. May Allah accept from you, and may He give you a blessed Ramadan and a blessed year and a long and beautiful life. Ameen.